Last week we took a closer look at Go files and the different jibs that make them up. So the next logical step would be to take a look at our editor and see how we bring those game objects into Snapshot and manipulate them into levels that we make. So to get started, I loaded this blank level with not much in it other than pick. And what we probably want to do is add a few physics blocks to make sure that pick doesn't fall off the bottom of the screen. And I do that by going up to our tools pane, which is where our whole list of game objects is located, which is vastly extensive. But I can use this filter to find exactly what I'm looking for, which is a physics block. As soon as I have that selected, I switch from my selection tool to my placement tool, and this is our physics block. And I start placing these physics blocks wherever I need them. Now, a physics block this size isn't going to be much use, so I can switch to my scale tool and resize these blocks into something a little bit more appropriate. Now already you can see a level starting to form, but these are physics blocks and they're not going to be visible to the player in the final game. So why don't we start adding a little bit of art, which I do by returning to my Go placement list. And I'm just going to grab something random here, like this bush. Now using my placement tool, I can start stamping these bushes wherever I think I need them. But before I do that, I'm going to move off of our collision layer, which is primarily saved for physics blocks and pick and anything else that appears that pick is going to interact with. So I do that by switching my active layer onto, let's start with the background. And you can see that the bush is now behind pick and behind the physics block. And I can start stamping these wherever I want. And after these are stamped, I can use the scale tool again on these to just give them a little bit of a different feel. I can even rotate them using our rotate tool. And then maybe I even want to go into their game object file and change the color of one of them, just to make it look a little bit different. Something like that. So that's great. We have our other background layers as well with these different numbers right next to them. And that's to indicate the level of parallax that we have on this particular layer. So if I switch to, let's say, background 0.7 and add that same bush, and make it smaller since it's further away, then you can see that that bush scales at, moves at a different rate other than the other two bushes. So fast forward a little bit and you can start to see how these levels are made and all the different game objects that are used in this particular level, and even the different layers of parallax in the background. And that's really it for this week. Next week is going to be a surprise, since I don't think we've decided what we're going to show off next week, but I can assure you it's going to be just as interesting as this. So leave us your comments and any questions that you have, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. See ya.